Well, we finally got to spring. You know what that means. More anime. Yes, that's right. As the winter anime series are closing their seasons, we're about to jump into another large season for anime for 2021. As I mentioned before, the 2021 anime season, as you heard the horns in the background, is going to be really big. It's something, it's basically, really, we haven't really seen something like this before. I mean, a lot of people could say, well, it's probably because of the coof and all that. No, this is something a long time been putting it. A couple of items might have been pushed, but this was an eventuality that was going to happen. With the manga industry overtaking the comic book industry here in the West, and the way what's happening in the East, you have Demon Slayer just completely battering in the freaking box office. It's about to hit our shores in a couple of weeks here, in theaters. Theaters are opening up again. So basically, Demon Slayer is going to get his chance in the theaters in the U.S., in New York, California, all of the above there. And you have had a lot that else has been coming into these. Now, if you've clicked on this, the next level I'm heading for, and the controversies that come out of this as well. I mean, this past the winter, we had one major and another one that was not so major. And the ones I'm talking about is Mushoku Tenshin and also Redo the Healer. Now, Redo the Healer, in one cases, we expected a complete meltdown. We did have meltdown months ago before this came out, and it seemed to have tapered off. And a lot of the mainstream anime news have tried to, in the West, have tried to quiet it down, and I don't know why is that, and that's kind of weird. I mean, still the criticism is there, but hey, it's an over-the-top anime, and if you caught my video on revenge stories, this is not something that's not uncommon. There's been some over-the-top stuff in history, and we're talking even in live action, not only in anime. But the other half is, you have Mushoku Tenshin that some people were criticizing for the, as they say, the edgy crudeness to it, of the character Rudy and his father, the cheating father, Rudy wearing panties over his head, always peeking in. Then there's that episode with him and Eris in bed.
FBI, open up!
Yeah, no, let's push that away. I mean, series ended really good. I mean, all in all, Mushoku Tenshin is one of the best animes out, and I think it's going to end up to be the top anime. I mean, it's gone right now. It'll be back in July for the second season, and I hope the second season is just good. You have to remember that you touted one studio for this entire anime, and this is why it looks so gorgeous. But you may ask yourself, well, are we going to get a controversial for the spring? Yeah, we are. We are. Not one, but two. If this is not on your radar, it probably will be soon, as those on Reddit and the Twitter Puritans. I'll start off with the base one, which basically, you could take it or leave it if it's going to be controversial. And this is the one that's been on the radar for a bit, since Redo the Healer started. And it is called Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro. This is supposed to be airing, it's a rom-com, and I believe we're expecting it by the 11th of April. And the main plot of this, and this is where the criticism comes in. A lot of people have been putting in that it's bullying to an extreme. Now, the main plot line is about a boy. He meets this girl named Nagatoro, and basically, I guess she's infatuated with him or something like that. And she does a lot of verbal abuse to him. You know, basically, it's teasing stuff like that. I mean, it's sort of like a more edgier Usaki-chan in a way. And it's kind of weird that you can see like almost like sort of like fangs in her teeth or something of that nature. But hey, listen, it's another story. I mean, it's a rom-com. It's a comedy, and it's a romantic comedy. You know, we've had stuff like this before. We've had crazy comedies like this on live action, and some of it's done well, some of it's done cringy. But all in all, you know, you're talking about 15-year-old kids who are just basically just going nuts on each other. This was a manga. It's got about 9 volumes on there. It's been around for a bit. I believe it was in 2017. I believe is the start on that. The trailer looks okay. Unfortunately, the particular company that puts this out tends to flag YouTubers for the trailer, so that's why we can't show you the trailer. But I encourage you to go and find the trailer, look for yourself how it looks. Hey, let me tell you, don't forget we had anime back a little bit where kid was swapping spit, you know, licking up spit from another girl. I mean, and that was a little insane itself. So how much more insane that you can get with this? Well, to get even more cringier, there is a second line of anime which is based on light novels. I don't know how to take this one. And there's another one down the line that has an unusual title as well, but we're not going to talk about that one yet. This one, okay, this one may draw some ire from a lot of people on this. And I don't think that basically it has gotten across the Reddit and Twitterverse yet. I know there's some people have had said it. It is scheduled for early April, so it's around soon. The actual title, the full title for this, it's a long one. After being rejected, I shaved and took in a high school runaway. Yeah, of course that would be banging on your door right about now if that actually really happened. In this case, the main premise of this is basically it's about an office worker. He's had bad relationships, as you can see. He makes a change in his life and then ends up picking up now, from what I'm told, she's 17. Some people are saying 16. It's like 16, 17-year-old schoolgirl who's homeless off the street. And basically, he takes her home, and she happens to be a girl who's been surviving by doing favors. We'll put it into that perspective.
FBI, open up!
And it's sort of, as they say, the level of tension between the both of them is, it's the resistance that he's doing, to respect her. But, it's a rom-com, so, it's going to go through comedic aspects. Now, he's 26. Before you go any further than that, yes, he is older. And basically, you have a rom-com here that is sort of a, like a Pretty Woman type, stretching it a bit farther. But, one thing about the Japanese, it's when you look at the perspective. Now, understand that, of course, here in the good old US of A, the age of consent in the United States is about, depending on where you are, is between 16 to 18, which is about the average consensus of the world. Now, if you break it down, in most cases, Japan is age 13, Philippines is age 12, and most of the rest of the world is in the age 14 to 16 range. So, in a way, when you look cringy on this and you say, oh my God, she's about 17, why is he with a 26-year-old and stuff like that? Yeah, in most cases, you would not want that to happen. Because some places you have laws, whereas if you're much older, it becomes, yeah, that. You know, some places they don't tolerate if the girl, you know, the boy or the girl is 16 or 17 years old and the adult is 21, 22. It's still a major issue. Now, the whole thing, and you look into the specifics, is that this is, you know, a tale that is a girl who's heartbroken. She's a runaway, and you know, it could end up to be a touching story that the guy doesn't do anything to her and basically, you know, treats her almost like a sister, possibly. And generally, that sometimes happens in some of these unusual comedies out of Japan in the mangas sometimes. The other times, you know what it ends up to be. But because, you know, you have perfect example, what's the other one? Another World with a Smartphone. He's 14 and the girl is 12, and she offers to marry him at age 12. So, you know, go with what you think is going to be. But all in all, this is going to be an unusual series that you have Miss Nagatoro and I brought home a teenager. You know. So you reached this part of the video. Thank you for tuning in. Comment below. I laugh at that moment right there because the comments would probably be very unusual. What you're thinking right now and not thinking nasty. Please be nice. Think of what you think. Are these two going to be controversial, or is it going to end up like Redo the Healer? Nobody really is going to care. So thank you for subscribing. Don't forget to hit the subscribe if you haven't yet, because I know 90% of you haven't hit that subscribe yet. So hopefully today I have earned your subscription. Hit that like. Don't forget to share that video. Hit that notification bell. You'll know when new episodes of Madman with the Show air on Q2Cast TV. We do try to air daily during the week here on Q2Cast TV at various times. So sometimes we're in the afternoon, sometimes we're in the evening. We try to fit it into where the algorithm, where most of you are watching at that point. If none of you are watching at that point, we're not going to pop it on. In other words, not going to be on at 10 o'clock in the morning. But we may be on at 10 o'clock at night. Depends on where you are at that point. So do tune in. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you on the next one, and hopefully we won't get in trouble for this one. Bye-bye now.